My name is Andy Flug Wolfer. I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in a very Zionist home. I went to Jewish day school. I went to Jewish summer camp, and there was always a deep love for Israel in my home. Israel was really at the core of who I am and who my family was. And today it still is. It's who I am, not only personally, but professionally. I'm the managing director of the United States Israel Business Alliance. We focus on very specialized trips to Israel for governors, for university officials, and for philanthropists. Bless you. Been to Israel 13 times since the war started. We have our 14th trip coming up in October. And to be honest, I pinch myself that this is my job. I am the luckiest person because I'm able to bring so many people to Israel. I teach a college class on Israeli innovation and entrepreneurship. For me, it's super exciting because 20 of my students are not Jewish or Israeli. 50% of them are immigrants themselves. And I think it's a really organic and natural and special way to teach about Israel, to build a relationship with young ideas, young students, young minds, and Israelis.
Fantastic.
Thank
Wow.
you.
That is very inspiring, Andy. What made you decide that it's finally time to learn Hebrew?
So it's a great question. The reason I started to take classes at Citizen Cafe is because there came a point in my job where I just needed to jump in and really learn how to speak Hebrew better. Everybody knows that you can navigate Tel Aviv and Jerusalem without speaking Hebrew, but I really didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to speak Hebrew more freely and more fluidly. So I took the leap of faith. And I have a funny story that will go along with my Citizen Cafe journey. I use the same taxi driver a lot when I'm in Israel. And a couple years back, the taxi driver said to me, Andy, your Hebrew is Kamo Yalda B'Kita Gimel. And I was like, okay, Kita Gimel, not bad, not bad. So fast forward a year and a half in Citizen Cafe, he picked me up recently from the airport. And after he dropped me off, he said to me, Andy, your Hebrew is Kamo Yalda B'Kita Vav. And I was like, whoa, that is amazing compliment. So I've made a lot of progress. I've jumped a few school grades. And for me, the biggest thing is that I feel more free to speak my Hebrew. I'm not as embarrassed anymore. And I'm willing to make mistakes. And if someone gives me the opportunity to speak, now I'm going to jump on the opportunity and take it.
Fabulous. I was just going to ask that. So if is that the biggest thing that you feel that that's changed? Anything else that you couldn't do before that you can do now?
So yeah, we recently learned the word mitbayeshet, and it resonates with me so much. I already knew the word because I'd always say ani mitbayeshet, mitbayashti, and I'm not anymore. Like I'm willing to start a conversation in Hebrew. I'm willing to jump in. I'm not going to use my English anymore. So I'm ordering my coffee in Hebrew. I'm using my ways in Hebrew. I have a vivid memory of being at a Shabbat dinner and I was really the only non-Hebrew speaker at the table. And it was such a miserable experience for me. And here I am, trekking all the way to Israel. I'm like being the most Zionist person that I could be. And I really felt like an outsider at the table. And I don't want to be that person anymore. And I finally feel like my skills are enough that I could either chime in on the conversation or I can say, I don't understand what you just said. Can you help me out? So I think it's a level of confidence that I've reached now that will be able to get me to a different level of conversing in Israel and when I need to speak Hebrew.
Tell me a little bit about your highlight at Citizen Cafe, a moment that you remember, a story.
So, ironically, the highlight for me of Citizen Cafe has been taking Hebrew during the war, which is probably not what you would guess would be my highlight, but for sure it has been, particularly during the Iranian war. My teacher, Reut, would come to class with a huge smile on her tired face and would somehow connect with us through the camera and assure us that she's okay, that everything is going to be okay. She was our ray of sunshine during this really dark period. And we kind of like couldn't wait for class to start so we could all check in with one another and see how each other was doing. It was sort of like a period where we could lean on one another and just know that we have each other all over the world. We connected. And it was really during a very, very ugly period, a really special moment. I have a little chavruta and we travel together. We meet when we're in Israel, New York, Miami. We try to get together. We have our own little private WhatsApp groups called, whatever the word is that we're learning is the name of the WhatsApp groups. It's really fun. All different ages, different professions, different backgrounds. And they've really become a core group of friends of mine. And it's fantastic. I never knew that that would be a benefit from taking a Hebrew class online.
Love that. Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Israel. You're obviously the biggest Zionist, and so what's like the one thing that you love most about Israel? It could be a place or a moment or a feeling.
I'll be short, but I have a few answers about the few things I love about Israel. First and foremost, I love going to Shuk Carmel and buying my Medjool dates from my Medjool date broker. There is nothing better than the sweetness and the freshness and bargaining and asking for them. I just absolutely love that experience. Another thing that I love is when I land at Ben Gurion Airport, it never gets old seeing the Bruchim Habayim sign. I cannot believe that there's a country in this world that welcomes me in Hebrew. And every time I see the sign, it just does something to my heart. And I guess lastly, I would say the arguing that I have from the moment I get into the taxi with a driver, which drives me crazy. I can't understand how you can have this experience when you first arrive in Israel, but till the end of the ride, when the taxi driver then invites me to Shabbat dinner and calls me kapara, I love those moments. And I think so quintessential Israeli, and you can't find them anyplace else.
Love how you have just found so much compassion for all the things that can get so frustrating. And you're like, I've missed this. I've missed the torturing me all the way, ripping me off. Definitely a positive way to look at it. Thank you for that, Andy. What's like one thing that many people don't know about you? Maybe the community should know about you.
The community should know that I have my black belt in karate. And although I seem sweet and nice on the outside, you should beware. And my husband always says that God forbid our family is ever in trouble, they'll push me to the front and I'll protect them. So I'm good in scary, dangerous situations. You can count on me.
I would have never, ever guessed that. I love it. Andy, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
I want to thank you for this wonderful idea that you had to make Hebrew come to life.